Happy Friday. You made it through another week. So blessings to you. Hopefully all is well in your space with you and the family. Hopefully you're getting a couple dollars to make life a little easier for you. But, today I want to build today I'm talking about manhood and what is a real man. We always use the term. A real man would do this, a real man would do that. This is a real man, that is a real man. And that's what I want to talk about. So if a 13-year-old, 14-year-old wanted to be a real man, what exactly does he have to do? What's the requirements? And if a person is not living up to being a real man, how do you check them? Like, how do you hold them accountable to that? Because what's a real man? What's the difference between man and real man? And who is qualified to determine what's a real man and what's not? So that's what I want to talk about, because it's actually something that I try to study. It's actually something I tried to, just studying human behavior, studying different cultures, studying guys at different time periods and the behavior at different time periods. And it's a conversation that's actually needed because you have people having children, you have people in powerful positions, you have people with families, and nobody is having the discussion of exactly what makes a male a man. So happy Friday to you. We always hear, one second, that's me at the library, hold on. One second. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay. Got tangled up for a second. Make sure my Wi-Fi is good. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what's a real man, what's not a real man. And it's usually women that say, well, a real man would do this. Guys say this too. A real woman would do this. A real man would do this. But I want to know, what's a real man? What do you guys think? He says, what's your name, Taj? He says, all males are men. We just different types of men. Okay? All right? He says, all males are men. We're just different types of men. Okay? All right, so let me build on that then. So I hope I don't mess up your name, bro. I never seen you before. So you say it looks like Taj. He says, all males are men. How? How is that possible? How can all males be men? Right? You're connecting two things right there. Right? You're saying males are men. How? So you're saying a male is born, a man is born? Because I disagree that a male is born. A man is born. A male is born, but a man is not born. A man is created. You have to do particular things to become a man. See, in nature, there's male species, all right? But those species don't have the ability to become a man. Why not? You have a male gorilla, you have a male lion, you have a male giraffe. How come they don't have the ability to become a man? Right? Think about what I'm saying. Male is the gender. Man technically is not a gender. It's something else. Right? And it's important that we have this conversation so maybe we can all get on the same page. So when people are displaying certain behavior, we don't call them men or we don't call them women. Being a man and being a woman, there has to be something valuable about that, okay? Because we have a society that we throw terms around loosely and we actually don't sit and discuss what do things mean. Because when we discuss and we get to the bottom of it, what things mean, then we can have certain type of expectations. What is the expectation of a man? How do you become it? The reason why that's important is because if I train my whole life to become a samurai, make sure you like and share this video too with people that you might, that think will like, they might like the topic. If I become a samurai, you're going to hold me accountable based on what you understand a samurai to be. There is a certain criteria that I have to do to become a samurai. There is a certain kind of training before I can say that I'm a samurai. Okay, if I wanted to be a lawyer, wouldn't I have to pass a test? Wouldn't I have to go through the bar exam? If I wanted to be a doctor, wouldn't I have to take the Hippocratic Oath? All right. So in the sciences, there's rituals, there's oaths, there's steps that must be taken to rise through the levels, right? So I can't just turn 21 and now I'm a man. What's the ritual? What's the oath? What is the philosophy that I'm committed to, that I'm going to uphold the standard of manhood, right? And it doesn't matter if a dude is from Asia. It doesn't matter if a dude is from Australia. There has to be some type of creed that holds us together to be man, right? There's a separation between boy and man. But what is it? It can't be anything physical, okay? So you guys tell me, what do you guys think is a man? What is a man? And how do I become? If I wanted to, am I a man right now? And if I'm not, how do I become it? What do I do? Who do I go talk to about this? Right? Who do I sit down to talk to give me my man card? Is it a job? Okay, just find a job. Am I a man? Am I a man because I bring home the bacon? Am I a man because somebody tries to fight my family and I fight, right? What if I lose? Am I still a man? What is man? Because being a man has to be something that cannot be stripped. It can't be taken because it wasn't given. The state can't give you manhood, okay? The state says you're legally an adult in terms of paperwork, in terms of the eyes of the law. But being a man cannot be given. So what is a man? This is important because you have people in relationships. You have people that are having children. This conversation needs to be had because what about the males that are young? We have to give them something to strive for that's bigger than a paycheck. Something that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives. Okay? So I'm not saying that I have the answer, so I'm asking you guys, what's a man? Okay? So Adrian says financial freedom. All right, so let's build on that. So a man has financial freedom if we build on that. Okay, so what if he's a sucker though? Okay, what if he's a snitch with financial freedom? Because the thing about finances right now, finances is geared towards the guy that sucks dick. Finances is geared towards a guy that's very agreeable and non-combative and that kisses ass. So the more ass you kiss and the least firm you are, you have a better path to get money in this climate. So if it's financial freedom, does it just stop there? Is he still a man? He's a sucker though. You can get lucky with their finances. So if it's money that makes the man, okay, fine. He could be a rapist and a molester, but he's rich. He could be a snitch and he tells on his friends, but he got money. All right? He can abuse the elderly, but he has money. So is it money? Is it financial freedom? Is it the fact that maybe he had an investment from his father, like Donald Trump, or he got lucky? Because you can get lucky in money, right place, right time. Okay? So if it's financial freedom, like Adrian said, what happens when the guy loses his money? When he loses his money, does he lose his manhood? So what is a man? Right? What's a man? Really think about what I'm saying. So let's go into archetype. Who's the first man that ever walked the earth? So let's draw from this prototype. Who's the first? And let's use that person to contrast to see where we're at. Who is the first man? Right? Who's the first man? And what made this first man man? Right? And is a female qualified to say who is a man and who isn't? These are real questions. Who does she have to be to say what is a real man and what is not? She may think her father was a real man, but what if her father around other dudes was a punk? Right? Who's qualified to say what a man is? Being a man of purpose, being a man of integrity, being a man of means. Okay, somebody said it. Somebody said Adam. All right, cool. So make sure you share the video too. Somebody said Adam was the first man. So if we go off biblical teachings, Adam was the first man. Let's not debate if that's true or not. I'm not getting into theology. All right. Let's not debate if that was true. Let's just, for the sake of argument, say that Adam was the real man. Fine. Did Adam leave a journal? What did he do that made him a man? Because the thing, if we're going to agree that Adam was the first man, we have an issue here. Because let us make man in our image after our likeness. The spirit of the Creator was the breath of life was blown into clay. And that clay became an animated object. So if Adam was the first man, then the first man was not physical. The first man was, if we're going off the story of Adam, right? Because Adam's origins is in the lungs of the Creator. Now follow. Right? Let us make man, okay, after our image, after our likeness. Okay. But if the Creator is a spirit, then Adam's original state is spirit. Okay? And when that breath of life from the Creator, if we're going by the biblical narrative, right? If we're just going by the biblical narrative, when the breath of the Creator of this Old Testament deity was put in clay, and that clay became a man, then then Adam is breath then. I'm saying, I'm only going off the biblical narrative. I'm not, because someone said Adam was the first man. Okay, so if Adam was the first man, man is not physical. See, it never says, let us make humans after our image, after our likeness. It says, let us make man after our image, after our likeness. Nowhere does it say human, right? Now, hue deals with color. And when we look at the etymology and the definition of color, color is to conceal something, okay? Color hides. So if I was to take a coloring book that it's an original state and I begin to color that coloring book, I begin to conceal what the coloring book really looks like. So hue, which is color man, okay? So when you call me a black man, or you call him a white man, or you call him a brown man, what you're actually doing is actually concealing the true nature of that, because nobody's a crown, okay? So hue man, color man, is you're hiding what it really is, its original nature. Because thousands of years ago, people never called themselves colors. That is a new creation based off social status. Okay? So what is man? Is it fair to say we don't know? Is that fair? To say we're winging it and we don't really know what a man is. We basically get our awareness about topics from television and production and movies. So our frame of reference will be something that we've seen on the screen. Because if I ask 100 people what a man is, everyone's going to have a different definition. So the concept of man exists in the imagination of whoever's using the term. So since it's up in the air and there's no clear definitive definition socially based on what a man is it fair to say that we don't know? So there's no such thing as a real man. And it has to be created in real time. Is that fair to say? If someone has a better definition and an archetype and a prototype, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. Because as long as if we come to the place where we say, you know what, we don't know, then that means as a collective, we can all agree on what it is. So that means we'll be able to hold people accountable based on the collective definition. Yeah. Right? So when we say that's a man and that's a woman, we're going on an agreed upon definition based off behavior that we all collectively had decided this is man, this is woman, this is not. Right? Because this is important. Because leave it up to the social narrative and social meaning, a man is supposed, which that word is interesting because it doesn't exist in other languages. Because what does suppose mean? Right? What does suppose mean? See, the words suppose and should are ideals that exist in people's minds of what something should be. But that's fantasy, though. That's fantasy. Right? That's fantasy. Okay. Shaquita says, I think people say a real man when they're trying to differentiate between a male and a man. Okay. I agree. I also think people say what a real man is based on their personal selfishness. See, when people use the term real man and real woman, they're talking about what they want out of life. They're not talking about that individual. They're talking about what works for them personally. When a person says, well, a real man would do X, Y, and Z, what they are talking about is vanity, for real. What they are talking about is what they want. So if someone wants money, they'll say, well, a real man takes care of the household. Why? Because you want somebody to do that for you. That doesn't necessarily say that they are a real man. Because if they are a real man, everything that makes them a man is based on what they do when no one is around for their own self, not for when they're doing for you. People's definition of a real man is based on their own personal self-interest. It has nothing to do with that guy. Because if he's in the woods by himself, is he still a real man? If he's in a jail cell by himself, away from human beings, is he still a real man? Sure. Sure. See, that real man definition will change based off what that person does for that individual. So if he feeds you, he's a real man. The moment he doesn't feed you no more, now his manhood is in question. So the whole premise of manhood and womanhood is based on self-interest from other people. You see how fucked up that is? And then what happens is, if we use that premise, then if a man or someone striving to be man, if he can't find a job, so say right now, the infrastructure in America has changed. So it has made feeding yourself more hard. If a guy is struggling in that department, we're basically saying you're not a man because you don't make enough to feed us, right? What if you take that same person and put him in an agricultural environment? and he's a great farmer? What if you take that same person and put him in by water, and you'll notice that this person is a good fisherman? What if you take that same person and put them in the battlefield, and now they're an amazing warrior? You see how it changes? What if that guy is not a good worker? What if he doesn't know how to find a job? Because naturally, his human design is that he's a farmer. See? See? What's a real man? What is a real man? And if you are a female and you're interested of finding a real man, what's the qualifications? What is the qualifications? Okay, Lakeisha says it's more about his responsibility with what he has. Can you go into that a little more? Can you go into that just a little more? The responsibility of what he has. Like what? Like go into a little more. Right? Money. What you mean money? I don't even know how to say your name. What do you mean money? Random, I believe, starts with the question, who am I? It has to be based on personal perspective, not from outside. I like that definition. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Right? So basically, if a woman is looking for a real man, it's going to be based on her education, right? So technically, it's going to vary. So that means she's not actually going to know, right? She's not really going to know, because an Asian woman might have different criteria, and a woman from Russia might have different criteria, right? So let's just say if you have origins for the last 500 years in Black America, you haven't been privy to the conversation of manhood, because it's something that has been stripped away from your males. It's something that has been stripped. So if you grew up in America, you're actually not independent of free thinking, because in the society that you're raised in, you are told what to think. You are told how to feel. You are given a religion that you don't know if it works or not. You are told how to process information. You are told how to mate. Okay? Is it fair to say that if you are so-called Black American, you're not really in a position to determine what manhood is and what it isn't? Patricia says these are all European concepts, not African concepts, and you're thinking from an African perspective. What's an African perspective? Africa has a lot of languages in a country, and like a person from South Africa has a different perspective from a person from Kenya. What is an African perspective? We got to keep in mind that Africa is a continent, right, with different ethnicities and different history. People from South Africa was battling the Dutch. Other countries was battling the French. But before that, it's not like this is a monolith, right? So what is an African perspective, right? Because I can go to Africa with this idea of an African perspective, and people from Africa are looking at my perspective and saying, what the fuck are you talking about? So what's an African perspective? Right? We don't know what manhood is, because we are a creation inside the mind of another group of people. My last name is Brisbon. That is a European. I've never been to Europe. My first name is Kenneth. That is European. If you are Williams, John, Brown, King, you're in the name of another group of people. I didn't develop the religion that I was given. It was pushed on me. I didn't develop my identity. It was pushed on me. The way that I see the world is through an American perspective. As free thinking as I am, I still think with an American perspective. Now, what is an American perspective? Consumption, entitlement, right? I don't know any other world besides an ice machine. I don't know any other world where I turn on water and it comes on all day long. I don't know any other world where I just come outside and there's food right there from a store. I've never hunted my food. I go to the grocery store, my food is already there. That is an American perspective. I am a creation of social scientists, be it German, be it social engineers. My origin is a nigger. You understand? My origin, my mother's origin, my father's origin, my grandfather's origin, these are niggers. Do you know what that means? That means a nigger is a product built for one reason and one reason only, for capitalism. American capitalism stands on the back of 40 million people. You strip those 40 million people away, the working class, the consumer class, and this whole system falls. Okay? So I have no clue what a man is. The best representation of a man that I can possibly come up with is someone that goes to work, that sacrifices their body to keep up with an ideal. We have to understand, if you look like this, what perspective and what position that we're coming from. We have a history of Jason Bourne. You guys remember Bourne Supremacy? Jason Bourne, you have amnesia. You don't know who you are. So when you wake up, you're in the image and the likeness of the creators. We are in a Sims game. And what you think is free thinking is not even free thinking. So when we're talking about what is a man, the only thing that we can say, and it's automated, a man protects and provides. There's no other answer for that. If a man protects and provides, then how come a man was with his wife, so-called, and another man could come and have sex with her and breed with her, and he's on the plantation and they're picking cotton? I thought you told me a man protects and provides. So then your ancestor was not a man. They beat Emmett Till's face in. Who protected him? What is the frame of reference of so-called black American males in a position of being a man? So you can't tell me a man protects and provide unless you're talking about white males. White males protect and provide. And I'm not dissing, right? This is an observation. So we can get to a place of, well, what does manhood look like for us culturally? We have no frame of reference. We have no frame of reference. So we have to develop one of what does manhood look like. And manhood and womanhood is the same thing. Boy and girl is gender. They're different. But manhood and womanhood, from my observation and from me developing, is a consciousness. It's an awareness. It's a spiritual reality. It has nothing to do with the body. Manhood and womanhood is waking up that locked in potential. Because you can't be a man and a woman and a nigger at the same time. Willie says, but they were forced to work the plantation and no person was around when Emmett Till was kidnapped him up. Okay, Will. So, but did people find out what happened after Emmett Till was killed? And you say they were forced to work the plantation. Okay, you're right. So then that ain't a man. Based on the definition that we're using, that a man is supposed to protect and provide. If a man is supposed to protect and provide, then those women picking cotton, all the men should have been dead because they were protecting. Think about what I'm saying. We have no frame of reference for manhood. Because you can't say that I'm oppressed. You can't say that on one hand I'm oppressed, but then I have a frame of reference for manhood. If a man is supposed to protect and provide, then what does that look like in oppression? If you're protecting and providing, then you're not oppressed. So it's better for us to come to a place to say, you know what, we have to develop this thing. You know what I'm saying? How can you have the 50-50 conversation and a woman is supposed to submit to a man? What man? What so-called black male is a man? Point him out to me. Point him out to me. Show me him so I can read his manifesto on how he got to his awareness of being a manhood. Show me. You can't be a man and a slave. When we're watching Gladiator, Maximus fought for his freedom. He fought. He wanted to avenge his family because you can't be a man and a slave. If I'm gonna be a slave, then I have to give up being man. You can't be a man and a slave. You can't be a man and being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So she says, I have a tattoo on my face that says love, right? Now, that's fine. She says she's not going to listen to anything that I say because I have a tattoo on my face. It's my face. But that's fine. That's fine. But the tattoo says love, right? And from coming where we from, do we need love? Like, this is the first thing you see on my face, so that sets the tone, right? But she says, her name is Michelle. She says, I'm not trying to listen to anything you talking about being a real man because you have a tattoo on your face. So what she's saying is, you can't be a real man and have a tattoo on your face. Real men don't have tattoo on their See, what she did is give me her preference, which is fine. So you have to go by her criteria to be a man, according to her. And I'm not dissing. That's her criteria, right? But if she goes to Asia, what if her criteria doesn't fit those men? Or she goes to Scotland where men wear kilts. So the men there wear skirts. Are they real men? See why it's like, right? So she took a personal shot at me when I'm talking about something like for all of us, which is fine. I got thick skin. That doesn't bother me. But I'm saying, though, what is a real man? Because according to her, she ain't listening to me because I got something on my face. So that automatically qualifies me from the conversation, right? This is why we have to get to the bottom of what is a real man. Because if you can't have nothing on your face, well, so what is the standard? Who? Show me. Show me so I can model myself because that's what I want to be, right? You can be anything in life, but it's hard to be a man. So show me the guy that comes from my background. Show me the man so I can study him and model myself after him. Because my criteria is I can't be oppressed. I can't be a slave. I can't be not trying to conquer my fears. If people have a more of a definitive description, I love to check that out. You know what I'm saying? I would love to check that out. And this is, but okay. So let's see what Greg says. Greg says the creator of man and woman has instinctually instilled inside the human being to naturally take on, what does he say? To naturally take on the role of each species. But Greg, the species is male and female. Man and woman is not a species, right? The species is male and female. Every species on this planet is represented through male and female. That's called gender. Man and woman is not gender. Man and woman is something else. So what I want to know is how to get to the something else. Okay, now, you say instinctually. Instinctual. So So that should kick in then. Because if it's instinct, it should kick in. Because even when you put a lion in a circus and you domesticate that lion, yeah, you got it jumping through hoops, but every now and then, instinctually, it returns back to being a lion and it attacks anything that's around it. It starts getting territorial. Something is in its genetic code pops on and says, oh shit, I'm a lion. I'm not supposed to be in the circus, because that's instinct, right? Okay, so based on what you said, Greg, you said instinctually. So instinctually, any day now, I should wait my this thing that you're talking about, it should kick in, right? Okay, how long and when? When? If I see a child being disrespected by the state, or I see state sanctioned violence, right? And I take it to the courts, that is not being instinctual. Because when we look at the history of mankind, the history of mankind is warfare, right? That is something that's super common. So if my son was to be killed by the police and I take it to the courts, I'm not acting instinctually. So when does it instinctually take over? If manhood is an instinct, that's programmed, that's pre-coded. This is a conversation that needs to be had, because everybody has different answers. You know what I'm saying? And just piggybacking on what we said, in our environment, we don't have men. We have old males and young males. The young males are 15, the old males are 80. But they're not men. Okay? I believe it's a balance between masculine and feminine. What's masculine and feminine? Those are human observations based on mathematics. People have been alive so long, they attribute certain frequencies and behaviors and say that's a masculine behavior, that's a feminine behavior. That comes from observation. Femininity and masculinity didn't raise its hand one day and say, hey, I'm masculinity, this is femininity. This is human observation, and it evolves or devolves based on the intelligent level of the particular group of human beings at that time. Okay? He says, Greg says, is natural poles of man and women takes place naturally. There are other entities that erupt instinct, but you said natural though. See, again, I could put the lion in the circus and I can disrupt its natural course, but eventually it goes back to what it is because it's pre-coded in it and it attacks. What I'm saying is you have 40 million people that are domesticated. So when is the instinct that you're talking about, when is it going to activate? And how long does it take? Because if what you're saying is true, then we all right now would be flipping things over. If we act on our instincts like we want, we could be killed or go to prison. So what? And what man or woman cares about dying? Remember, like, man and woman is not a body thing. Who cares? Death is certain. Why are you caring about dying? What are you afraid of? Because if man and woman is a prize, it should be preserved and be protected. See, the thing about it is, study Japanese culture. Study World War II. The term kamikaze comes from Japanese pilots flying their planes into enemy lines, right? But they have a policy of no capture. So that means they're willing to die. That means that the creed that they live by, they will face death first before they ever become a prisoner. That's very admirable. When I look at people from the Middle East that are jihadists, and they're like, I will die right now for this shit, I don't give a damn. Whether you agree about the theology or not, that's very admirable. The group that we identify with as Black Americans, what will Black Americans die for? Clothes, objects. See, there's no man and woman dynamic because you protect that, you preserve that. It's built in the creed that no surrender, no retreat. Why do you care about dying? You're going to die anyway. Who cares? Okay. Then it says, one of the things that we are missing in our mills is self-determination. When a man becomes self-determined, he cannot live without taking orders from another man. This could translate into entrepreneurship. Okay, the part of our brain that controls fight or flight is the limbic system, also called the reptilian brain. Okay, so what are you telling me? Are you telling me that a group of people have their brain shut down? That they're out of their mind and not in their mind? So then, that makes my point. That you have a group of people that are not in a position to determine what a man and what a woman is because they're not functioning at an intelligent level to decide. Now, really think about this. And this is just an examination of the culture. Language is very important. Language is the vehicle that allows us to navigate. Okay? In our culture, we listen to music that has simplistic language. There's no complexity in it. We have people that are 40 that use speech on a level of a child, right? What group of people that are men and women operating up here would listen to that kind of thing, right? And I'm from it. Also, what group of people would always do everything that is against its own self-interest? You know why black people always got to be woken up? Because black people are always doing something against their own self-interest. Black people have a behavior that undermines their own self-interest. So how can a people that have a behavior, as for the most part, that undermines their own self-interest, how can they determine what a man and woman is? They need outside people to come and define things for them. You don't see a problem with this? That's a problem for me. I don't like the fact that I didn't build the house that I live in. I don't like the fact that my father didn't build the house that I live in. I don't like the fact that the things that I eat is not from my hands. I don't like that. I have a problem with that. You don't have a problem with that? I have a problem that I see the world through Western education. You don't have a problem with that? I have a problem with the system that I live in tells me what being married to women or women is. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people saying how many women I can be with. How can I be a man and the state determines who I am, what I do, what I say? That is not freedom. Okay, so Willie, I just read your comment. If a slave never had a foundation, then that slave wasn't a man. Then directly after slavery, we have a thing called Jim Crow. So you have this thing that keeps imposing its will on a group of people, and the group of people cannot get from under that. Therefore, that would make the group of people boys and girls and not men and women. Right? You're a slave. The concept of man and woman has been stripped from you. You are a boy and you are a girl. You eat, sleep, and shit when I say. You talk, live, breathe the way I say. Okay? You practice religion, the one that I say. You get this education, the one that I say. How can you be a man in that kind of dynamic? Sarah says they're property, which is true. Property can't be man and woman, and I'm not dissing them. This is what warfare does. If warfare reduces you to whatever the victor says you are. So I'm saying from there, collectively, we have never had a conversation about what the hell a man and what the hell a woman is. Come on. So I want to have the conversation, because if I want to be a real man, what the hell do I do? The answer, go get a job. Okay. A man is supposed to protect and provide. Why are you calling the police? Supposed to protect, right? Right. Just say we don't know, and let's go from there. Because if we're gonna if man, you are categorized as a minority. The blacks are all different. Every minority, someone read Dennis's definition, what he just said, which is true. How can you be a minority and be a man and be a woman? The word in minority is minor. If I'm a man and I claim to be man, how can I be a minor? How can I be a minority? Who called me that? And why do I raise my hand and say, us minorities? There's nothing minor about me. My end goal is, if I can't be man with a collective group of males that find that important, then I'll be man by myself. And I'll do the work to figure out what that is. It might take me my whole life. Now, I don't have a problem following laws based on the country that I am. But anything that is in my way of what I consider my pursuit of being happy, and I don't challenge that or try to overcome that, I can't be a man. If it's something that I want on this planet that doesn't infringe on no one else's well-being, and I can't get that because there is a system or a person standing in my way, I'm not a man. I'm not a man. Period. I'm not a man. Because fear is the thing that separates a male from a man. It's fear. It's the ability to meet your fear head on. Straight like that. Can you meet your fear head on? Who cares about dying? Who cares? You're gonna die anyway. That shit is guaranteed. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Whether you're going to die, I don't give a damn where you hide. Death is a motherfucker that is going to find you and tap you on your shoulder. Come on. It's that time. You might dodge it for a second. You're like, all right, I'll catch you on the now. I'm gonna go get them. But I got you. You can't be a man and you don't confront the thing that you're scared of the most. If we're oppressed and we know who's oppressing us, but we call ourselves men, but you know who's fucking with you and you don't do nothing about it, you're not a man. You're a boy. You're a property. And because of the middle class and upward mobility, it's like, yo, I'm going to just grind. Yeah, I get that. But the grind does not connect you to be man. They took man from you. They stripped you. What you gonna do about that? Somebody rob you or something? You just let them take your shit? So if we know that someone stole something from us and we know where it's at and we do nothing about it, don't talk to me about going 50-50. Don't talk to me about what a man is supposed to do. You won't even confront your fear. You serious? Don't tell me what a man is supposed to do. We've never seen men. A few of them. They're dead or in jail. Sorry. They're dead or in jail. Because to be free right now, You have to kind of reduce yourself and and talk light and talk with a softer voice and look the other way. You can't solve your own problems. You got to call people in to solve your own problems with your children, with your marriage. The state has to step in to tell you what is the best way for you to manage and govern your children. Your children aren't like that. You feel me? The state is the man. The state is the mother and father. We're just here fighting for the crumbs. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. I see my mama and daddy go out like that, losing to the matrix, not fighting the good fight. I got a problem with that. Yeah, we all need money. But money is so we can pursue the manhood and the womanhood. You get the money, then you take the money to free you up, to study, to train, to reconnect with the shit that they stole. They stole something. What do you think a slave is? What did they steal? They stole the mind, yo. They stole a mind and we became niggers. We need people to think for us. We need people to step in and help us raise our children. We need people to tell us what marriage is and what marriage isn't. We need other people to step in to tell us what is a good man and a good woman. That is a problem. That is a problem. So for a 12-year-old that's like, you know what? Yeah, I want to be a carpenter, but I want to be a man first. What are you going to tell him to do? What are you going to tell him to do? What are you going to point him into the direction of to find his manhood? What are you going to do? If it's a little girl somewhere and she's like, you know what? Before I ever get married or have children, I want to be a woman. You can't tell her, yo, your menstrual cycle makes you a woman. No, that's biology. That happens to all girls around the world. So that can't be the definitive thing that makes her into a woman. What are you going to tell these people? Because now you have another generation of people, and they're dumber than people that was here before. So it keeps devolving and devolving and devolving. The people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. How can you tell someone to get their manhood? Where are they going to find it? What battle are they going to fight? Because the enemy is hidden. What are you going to say? The best thing you can hand a guy is a mirror. Here. What do I do with this? Look inside you. That's the illest battle that you're going to fight. And when you fight that battle, you come out and you fight this one. You know what I'm saying? Here's a mirror. Look inward. You fight that battle. You calm that beast. You conquer the nigger. The nigger is an actual thing. The nigger is an actual thing. You know what a nigger is? A nigger is a being, a species that was scientifically created, grafted, right? That it will always go against its own self-interest. You understand? If self-preservation is the first law of nature, the nigger was not taught that law. The nigger is not trying to preserve itself. The nigger is on a self-destructive mission from birth. So when you hand somebody the mirror, what you're telling them to do is go conquer that nigger. And then when you find your manhood and when you find your womanhood, you defend that shit with your life. Period. And never step off that square. Because once you give it up, you can't get it back. It's not yours. You fight for that shit. He said, usually they get it from their parents and grandparents. What would they get from their grandparents? Our grandparents were good black people. That's what they were. They behaved. They were well-behaved Christians. That's what they were. Respect to them, but that's where they were. They were well-behaved Christians. They weren't revolutionary Christians. They were well-behaved Christians. That's what our grandparents was. You could love them to death, but it is what it is. They were well-behaved. They did exactly what they were told. They said, go to college, whatever. And granddaddy worked his ass off. Was he a man? Yeah. Until a white male came around, then he wasn't a man no more. He had to drop his manhood until the white guy left, and now he's a man over his house again. And because he couldn't do anything with that white male, he had to terrorize his family because he had to get that shit off on somebody. It's kind of like the scene in The Great Debaters where Forrest Whitaker's character was told to pick up a pig and called a boy. He's told to do this in front of his son and in front of his lady. So what do you think he's going to do to get power back when he goes home? He might put his hands on the people that matter him most, and it ain't even about them. He's doing that because he can't hit those people that disrespected him. Right then and there, he should have took their fucking head off right in front of his son. So the son knows that no matter what, you never let nobody take nothing from you. And shit, I'm going to live with the consequences. Why? Because I'm a man. And I'm going to live free. And no one's going to tell me what the fuck to do. And no one's going to call me a boy. And no one's going to tell me to pick up a pig in front of my goddamn son. I'm not going out like that. I'm going platinum. You have to. Because the boy needs to see that. And the female needs to see that. She's going to know I'm loved. He just gave his life for that. She's going to raise the son in a way to always fucking walk with his head up. And any guy that comes in her life, the dude before set the standard. Like, we don't deal with punks and cowards over here. Period. The conscious community, they don't train men. They trained niggas to read books all day and come out and debate. They're not men. What are we debating about? We're debating if Christianity is an African religion, Islam is an African religion. Where's the manhood debate? Who got the manhood school to train boys when they're young to be able to look up at the stars anywhere in the world and know where the fuck they are? To be able to go out in nature and look at a tree and know what's suitable? To be able to know when the storm's coming 5 days from now? Who can do that? I want to meet them. When you watch Last Samurai, when you watch the movie Last Samurai, pay attention to Quasimodo and what his people would die for. Death was an honor. It was an honor to die. I love Japanese culture so much because if they feel like they broke the code of being a samurai, they will fall on their own sword. They will take their robe off and cut their own. Like, that shit is fucking gangster. That shit is gangster. We're Christian. We ain't about that life. We follow a concept of a person that sacrificed their life according to the narrative, but we're not willing to do that same shit though. Oh shit, well nah, I might go to jail. Nah, nigga, suffer like Christ suffered. Suffer like your leader suffered, nigga. No, you ain't with it though. So, what is man? You're not about the death life. You're not about the living life. What's man? And how do we get there? And who do we follow? This is important, right? Because I don't, no motherfucker ever better tell me they're oppressed. I'm going to tell them go platinum. You need to go see them, whoever doing that to you. Who's doing that to you? Don't tell me about the system. Don't tell me about you're unhappy and you're uncomfortable. What you going to do? You ain't going to do nothing. You're going to go to work because the middle class, the ideal of the American dream and upward mobility, and because there is no concept of manhood in our culture, the best representation of manhood, the one that's most attainable is getting money. Right? Getting money. Get you some money. That is and what money allows you to do, money is color. Money allows you to hide behind that shit. Oh my God, look at the whip. It's a fucking car. I had a Mercedes. The shit was nice. It blew a head gasket. Right when I was on the highway. Driving to Arizona. Just blew up. Right? Leaking fluid and shit. Well, there goes my manhood. Right? I remember just having money on me. Money. Okay, the money keeps coming out of my pocket. Oops. I built my manhood on that. There goes my manhood. Right? So now that now the money's gone, the car's gone. Oops, there goes my manhood. Fuck now. Now I'm not complete again until I get that. Right? Validation. That's not man. Because no matter what kind of money I got, no matter if I'm walking on goddamn bare feet in glass, can't nobody take man away from me. That's my right. It's mine. You can't take that from me. I earned that. Feel me? Can't take that. I did the work, right? When you go on the other side of your fear, that's what it's about. Going on the other side of your fear, meeting the thing that scares you the most and getting on the side of that shit. And then when you do achieve that, who can question you? Who can challenge you? Right? All things you put your hands on is yours. A real man. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Tell me what a real man is. No, what you want is you want to be a beneficiary of the work that somebody puts in, so you don't got to do the work. You want to hide underneath someone that went on the other side of their fear and came back and lived to tell about it, and you don't want to do the work. So you want to challenge somebody and call and say what a real man is or isn't, because you don't want to do the work. That's what people mean when they say a real man, because you don't want to do the work because you're scared. So you mean to tell me I fight the illest battle, which is the battle of my self-conscious mind, and I reprogram and I beat the nigger out of me, and then you want to hide up under the work that I've done with? Fuck you. No, it doesn't work like that. What is man? Who knows? Because I can't be oppressed and be a man at the same time. So I can't go to nobody's program and they're like, yo, we're developing men over here, but at the same time, you're oppressed. I'd rather like the word enemy, right? Enemy, yeah. Oppressed, no. My enemy's not oppressing me. My enemy is being the enemy and challenging me. It's a challenge. Saying I'm better than you. Saying I got a better mind than you. And I'm more equipped for survival than you. I'm more well trained. I'm more organized. I'm smarter than you. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. And I respect my enemy. I respect anything that brings out the God in me. Respect that shit. Right? Ain't no oppression. Ain't nobody bullying me. What the fuck? I chose to be born here at this particular time to figure this shit out. Don't tell me about no oppression. I'm not listening to no fucking preacher tell me. The devil. The devil was inside of me. I gotta figure out how to get that motherfucker out of me. He's hiding. He's undermining me. He's not out here. He's not a white man. Please. Because if I do the work and I unlock the man in me, I could go to any cracker in the world and look him in the eyes and unlock that shit in him too, because he's sick. We need to change our thinking. These people don't got the best interest of you. They playing you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go a different route on this man and woman shit and see where we end up. What we got to lose? Time gonna go anyway, right? What we got to lose? Because clearly the people that have been talking and fat mouthing, they don't know. All their books is regurgitated. All their information is regurgitated. They don't know, right? They don't know. I'm not going to trust a person to tell me what man and woman is that can't even fast. You can't even stop eating, right? You know how difficult it is to say no to some food? When do you miss a meal? When do you put the body through suffering? But you know about who goes 50-50 and, you know, what a man is supposed to do. How would you know if you haven't disciplined the body? How can an undisciplined person talk about a disciplined philosophy that is man and woman? That is a disciplined philosophy. The untrained, the savage, is telling people this is a real man and this is a real woman. And their definition doesn't deal with discipline or wisdom. Remember, we got robbed. Someone took something from us. They created a nation and a generation of niggers. Let's start there. I don't give a fuck about before that happened. I give a fuck about now. Who has a problem with that? What are you going to do today? How are you going to train? How are you going to train your body? How are you going to train your mind? What are you going to do? What are you willing to do to get to find out what your highest potential is? To come out of the human body and into the frequency of man and the frequency of woman. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? What kind of suffering are you willing to go through? Because you got to suffer. You got to suffer. You got to take away the thing that makes you most comfortable and go to your fear. What are you willing to do? You ain't going to find it in entertainment. You're not going to go to church and the pastor's entertaining you. You got to go into the darkness, the triple black, your subconscious mind. And you got to have a conversation and say, look, I'm about to take over now. You've been running my life for a long time. And you are an enemy that was put there and that undermines my self-interest. And what it does is it stops the connection of being a father, a partner. It stops the connection of just being here. You don't quite feel alive. You don't quite feel like you're being the best. There's a domestication that is going on here. So what are you willing to do to get to this place of man, of woman? It's an honor, right? It's an honor because everybody can't do it. All these girls, all these boys, few will be men and women. Few, this many, few will be able to do that work. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor. So that's what I'm on. You know what I mean? I've been on that for a while. I slip, I fall, I slip, I fall, I slip, I fall, I slip, I fall. But each slip is an education. You know what I mean? Each slip is a, you know, like, and I feel it. I'm self Lord and Master. Ain't no God nowhere judging me. I judge me. I judge me. Because no sky, nothing can tell me how to be man or woman. Clearly you can't, because this shit keeps making mistakes in the design. That's why you got to keep destroying the human being. So I'm not going to follow a flawed deity that can't even fucking figure out how to not get hung on a cross. You God, though. I'm not following none of that shit. Nobody got the answers. No sky daddy from the Old Testament, from the New Testament. All that shit is flawed. We want perfection. No, sir. No man. Right? You figure out how to not get hung by regular niggas, then I'll fuck with you. The Old Testament deity. You figure out how to not keep making human mistakes. You figure out your jealousy. If you don't praise me, the rocks are going to cry out. Give me a burnt offering. If you want to go that route and you think your manhood and your womanhood is over there, be my guest. Be my guest. But while you're at it, tell them to tell your people, tell them to help you with your oppression and see how long it takes. So we going to get answers or we going to die trying. You know what I'm saying? We're not waiting for shit. We're going to do the work on ourselves. And each step, we get more confident in our own abilities, right? In our own intellect, we get more confidence, and we feel like we can solve our own problems. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not supposed to. That's the point. That is the point. To go in the path that's least traveled. That's always been the secret. The secret is in us. It's in us. It's not in Tibet. It's not in Africa. It's not in a cave. The secret is us. Go the path that's least traveled. You feel me? This is the secret of the eyes, right? We're looking outward, so we're looking at this hologram. It's not even real. And we're saying that the problem is the hologram. The problem is not the hologram. The problem is inside of us. You can't fix this. This that's going on here is a reflection of what's going on inside of us. The buildings, the laws, that comes out of people. You know what I'm saying? If life is not fair, that's because people made it that way. There's nothing that's going to come and save you from people. Do you know if I was a God, I would be very pissed off that I got to come here and save you from other human beings. Figure it out. Figure it out. So I'm God. I'm doing my thing in the stars turned up, right? I'm doing my things, right? Having sex with other little cosmic goddesses and shit. I keep getting prayers from these earthy niggas. Like, God damn it. Why do you keep calling me, man? Fuck. Yo, we're oppressed. We're slaves. Other humans are being mean to us. Yo, turn up. No, please come and avenge us. So I got to come from Andromeda and Sirius A and Sirius B and come solve human problems? Unless that thing that's kicking your ass has a one of me? Does it have one of me? No, it don't got one of you. It's just mean. It's unfair. Yo, figure it out. Go platinum. Period. I'm turned up. I'm up here with the gods. Nigga, solve your own fucking problems. I didn't create the problems. That's your business. That's how I'm on it. I ain't calling nothing from the heavens. I'm calling something out of me. And if I'm wrong, what do I lose? I was a nigger in the first place. Right? I had mommy issues in the first place. My daddy was shot the fuck out anyway. What do I lose? Nothing. Right? But along the way, what if it's somebody that's young and they see me and I slip and I make it? But what about the person that see me? You know what I'm saying? Who are they? Who will they become? You never know who's watching, right? I always think about the person that listens to me talk that never comments. Who are they? I might pass them on the street like, yo, I've been watching. Who are they? That's happened before, right? So you never know who's watching, right? If you lose, you wasn't shit in the first place. So what do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm on. So what is man, what is woman? I want you to think about that. Play the video back, share it with your partner. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't. Maybe they feel like the person that, you got a tattoo on your face, I'm not listening to you. That's fine. Humans are trash. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? So, until next time, think about that over the weekend. You know, hit me with an inbox. What are you going to do to be man, to be woman? What you going to do to step your shit up? You know what I'm saying? And you might ruin your relationship with that. Who knows? Are you about that life, though? You know what I'm saying? So, until next time, my G's, I'll see you niggas later. You can hit me on the hotline, 888-565-8734. So until the next time, do the work or do nothing. All right? Peace.